All right, we're back for day 2 working on this 68 Camaro. Getting ready to work on the engine. I'm going to steam clean that, get that all done before I start working on the paint, just because I'm going to kind of be leaning over the fenders and I don't want to get any more marks or anything on there. So after I do the engine bay, I will do a test spot on a panel of this car and figure out my game plan for working around. So I'm going to be pretty delicate on this engine bay detail. I don't like to get things super wet. So what I'm going to do is just mist on some Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner, use my steamer to kind of break up any dirt, dust, grime, grease, oil that might be on the surface of anything under here, and then just wipe everything down with a towel, and I'll dress that at the end. The steamer that I'm using is the McCulloch steamer. I got this on Amazon quite a few years ago. It's come in handy not only for engine bays but also for some interior details, getting some stuff that's gunked up on floor mats, getting that cleaned up. And I don't use it very often, but when I do, it definitely makes the job a whole lot easier. The underside of this hood was pretty dusty, and you can see that this front corner, I just wiped it down with some all-purpose cleaner and then came back after it was dry with some Chemical Guys undercarriage spray, the bare bones, and just kind of dressed it and gave it a finish. Here's a look at the rear quarter. This is where I did my test spot and wound up using the blue HDO pad from Lake Country with 3D1 with the Roops polisher. And it was knocking out a majority of what was there. You can see the difference as I move my light across. Obviously this is the spot that I didn't get to yet. And later on, as I moved farther down toward the front of the car, I wound up using a mixture of 3D1 and Meguiar's 105 compound. So I was putting that on the blue HDO pad, working my way around, and I will mention that later on of what I'd have to do with my second step. Drop a comment below of your go-to compound and also your go-to polish. For me, I've been using 3D1 and Meguiar's products, their compounds, for quite a few years now. In most of my videos, when I'm prepping a vehicle for a ceramic coating or any type of protection, you usually see me using the Lake Country blue or orange HDO pad with the 3D1 combination. In this particular detail, I'm using 3D1 and Meguiar's 105 on the same pad as I work my way around. That for me was giving me the best results in my initial pass around the car. Did have to come back around again with a polish, but like I said, drop a comment down below of what you use. I'd love to try some new products, add some things to my shelf. All right, so I made my first trip around the car. I showed you a little bits and pieces of me polishing out the paint here. What I wound up using was the Lake Country Blue HDO pad 3D1, and I combined that with Meguiar's 105 for just a little extra cut. Wasn't really too crazy with the marring on the paint, but that 105 just gives it a little extra to get those out a little bit quicker so I can move along. And I've used that combo quite a bit over the past several months, just like 2 little drops of each on the pad, and it's working out really well. The only thing that happens with using the 105 is you kind of get a little bit of a haze to the paint, especially on black. So I do like to go back around the car with a fine polish and a fine polishing pad just to knock that out. So besides for just a little bit of polishing residue that's left on the paint, it looks way better than it did before. Has a ton of gloss. There's still some little imperfections in the paint. I mean, overall, this paint has some dust nibs in it, which you'll see coming up right here above the door pillar. And on the roof, there's some dust nibs scattered throughout, but it really brightened up the paint and gave it a really nice gloss just with that first step. And the second step, I'm going to use right over here on my shelf, Optimum Hyper Polish. So it's in a spray bottle, a couple quick sprays on a polishing pad, and that step's pretty quick just to knock out that little bit of haze from the compound. Mainly all the surface scratches and blemishes that were on the car most likely were just from improper washing and drying methods. So what I always like to do when my customers come in after doing an extensive job like this is I'll kind of show them what I have, and I'll go over my ways of washing and drying vehicles, and I'll send them links to different products that they can get very easily on Amazon or different websites where I order my stuff from, and it just will help them keep the car looking just like this. I mean, they paid a lot of money to get the car polished out and looking its best, and I want them to preserve that for as long as they can. All right, guys, so this car is completely finished. It was quite a bit of work to get the paint looking like it looks now. This car is all finished. I think it looks great. I'm very excited to give it back to the owner. He was really looking forward to seeing what this car is gonna look like because he said it's been neglected for quite a while. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that's been hitting that subscribe button, all of your comments. Any other comments, just put them down below. Tell me what you think about this car and how it came out from start to finish. And hopefully we'll have some more videos coming out in the near future. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.